welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to my videos. Welcome to my channel. All that good stuff. Welcome back, simply said. What are we beginning today? Well, today we are starting a whole new build, a whole new challenge, if you will. I'm rebuilding Maverick's F-14 Tomcat from the movie Top Gun, but with a twist. Now, if you've watched me on YouTube and you know my channel at all, maybe you've seen I already built this plane once, and then I wrecked it. This time, I'm also building Tamiya's F-14 Tomcat, and I'm going to be building them side by side. And this way, I can show you guys the difference between the Revell kit and the Tamiya kit, other than the sheer size of the box. These things are massively different in the level of detail. They are different in the fit and quality, and even the color that they're molded in. So what I'm going to be doing, and this is my plan, I'm going to be going through the instructions. Revell is nice enough to give us a color instruction booklet, where Tamiya's is their typical black and white. My plan is I start to build one part on the Revell kit, and once I get to the actual start, I start to build this section in the Revell kit, and I'm going to do the same thing in the Tamiya kit at the same time, so that I can go through step by step on each piece and show you side by side the differences. And I mean, anybody who's built these things, these kits, you're going to know that Tamiya's fit and finish is just, it outranks Revell in so many ways. But I wanted to revisit this particular build, and in doing this and building them both, I actually get a chance to build both Maverick's plane and also Iceman's, because in the Revell kit, which is really the most valuable piece in the entire kit, is the decal sheet, because it's specific to Maverick's plane. The only problem is I'm not going to have the tail fin decals for Iceman's plane. That's the only drawback. I've got the numbering for Maverick and for Iceman, but that's it. I won't have the tail decals for Iceman. And realistically, I don't really care too much about that, because Maverick's plane is going to be the Tamiya kit, and Iceman's is going to be the Revell kit. So first off, I've already gone through both instruction booklets, and as usual, I write down all the different colors of each piece that need to be painted separate, because I don't like having to flip back and forth through the book as I go to remember what color K is and what color D is, and F and all that, and so on and so on. And of course, I always have the colors listed at the beginning of the book, so I just go back through and I write them all down throughout the whole book and do that. And I've done that also with the Tamiya kit, black and white and silver and white and black and medium gray and all that, everywhere throughout the whole thing. So I've done that. Now let's take a look at the actual kits. So I've opened them up both already, and here's our Revell pile. As you can see, the top of the fuselage is one big piece, which is kind of nice because you're not going to have any I'll say unnatural panel lines that have to be filled in or anything like that. One drawback is where it's attached on the sprues is quite a big section. I did actually have somebody ask me how I dealt with that on my previous video, how I dealt with these large things. And all I did was just take my X-Acto knife and I just kind of cut through a little bit as I went to get that off of there. So on this same one, we've got our instrumentation, and we got some landing gear, pilot, landing gear doors. We have a little bag of parts that's separate, which also includes something that came with this kit that did not come with my other kit. When I first built that, I didn't have this. This didn't come with it. And what this is the little, I don't even know what they call that piece at the bottom of the nose on the plane. It's this right here. That right there, that piece down there that's underneath there. I'm not sure what that is actually called. It might say it in the instructions. But the piece that comes with the kit normally is in this bag, and that's it right there. Okay? But when you look at the plane in the movie, that is not accurate to what they show in the movie at all. And unfortunately, there are so many flaws in the movie that really screw you up. Because if you want to actually build this plane and make it, you know, identical to the way it looked in the movie, you're going to be disappointed. I'll tell you that right now, right off the top. I watched the movie, well, I downloaded the movie, and then I watched it, and I took a whole bunch of still shots from different scenes in the movie, so that I could really get a good representation of the color of the plane, where it's, you know, because these things, they sit on aircraft carriers and they get patches replaced on them all the time, and I wanted to replicate the, you know, the look of Maverick's actual plane that they used in the movie. And so I went through that and I took a lot of screenshots, and and found out a lot of Hollywood magic was done and when they filmed that movie. I'm going to go through these and I'm going to show you this. I know I should be getting into the build, and you're like, wow, duplicitous, come on, let's get on with the actual build here. Well, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay? So, let me get back on here. I don't want that one. I want this one here. Okay. So, let's start off with, we're at the beginning of the movie and we see him flying along, and he's in number 114. And that's all well and good. Nothing special, nothing to worry about there, right? So then they show, there's a perfect example of that pod that's underneath the nose. Right here. That's unique to this movie. You don't know why it's like this. It's totally different than the piece that normally comes with the model kit. But unfortunately, we have a different designation number here. Suddenly this is 104 and no longer 114. And of course, at the beginning of the movie, we're watching Maverick fly, and that's supposed to be his plane. But a moment ago, he was in 114. And then we get a nice shot. Look how all the different colors and the patches and everything on this plane. Also, again, this is number 104. In spite of the fact that the number designations on the wings appears to be a different number. That last digit does not look like a 4 on either wing, but, well, whatever, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now. And of course, barrel rolls are cool, so we have to show lots of barrel rolls in the movie. And I took this picture in particular because of these grooves right here and there, and the one in the middle. That's going to be important later on when we're building this plane, because this plane really has a very limited armament as to what you can actually build on the model. So here, of course, here he is doing his inverted, giving the finger to the guy in the MiG. just thought I'd throw that in there. That's the beginning of the movie. And once again, we're looking at the underneath so I can show you the weapon pods and everything like that, and that's how we're going to be duplicating this. And we get another good shot of underneath, and here we go at the top again. So this is the same as earlier, except now this has a great big white patch there, and the 104 looks almost like it's crooked, but we do actually have 104 on the wing back here, so that's good. Maverick is in number 104, right? Perfect. And we got another shot just going the other direction. I don't know what happened here on this big black spot on his wing, but that's okay. So then we got a nice close-up of that same plane with one little problem. Suddenly he's in 114, and it's like, okay, so, and it definitely says Maverick there, so this is Maverick's plane, but he's now in 114. Let's go back and take another look. Were we mistaken? Nope, that's a 104, but now he's in 114. Okay, well, here we go, another shot up close. Yeah, that's Maverick, and that's definitely a 114 there. And here we have Iceman over in 104 on the other side with that the yellow fist. I'm not sure what they call that, but yeah. And we got another shot, and this is definitely some kind of a toy model kit of some sort, because although he's got the 104, look at that tail fin decal that they've put on there that has no red in it, no white at the bottom. It's just a big blue and black sticker that they put on there. Absolutely horrible. Now we're back on the deck, and we got number 104, and definitely not Maverick on there. Oh, but it's 114, and that's definitely Maverick's tail fin, 114. So coming to the conclusion that Maverick is piloting 114, or he should be. Unfortunately, he takes off, and now he's 201. Okay, all right, sure. We just got magical numbers that change all the time. All right, so now we're back to we've gone through the movie, and Iceman he's in trouble, right? And Maverick is finally going to go out there after Goose has died. I hope you guys have watched the movie. I don't want to give away any spoilers. But, well, in my defense, you guys have had many years to watch the movie. Anyway, so he's walking along the deck, and it looks like he's going to be getting into this plane here, whatever designation that's going to be. Yeah, he's definitely walking over to this plane. He's looking at it, right? But wait a minute. Now he's walking towards this plane from the front. And this plane is that's a number 2 there. Okay, well, okay, so he's going to be in number 200 and something, right? And we're showing them in the sky again. Now he's on the deck, and he's taking off, and he's taking off. Definitely him. There's his tail fin. I think I'm gonna try and replicate these little lighter gray spots on the inside of the tail fin there when I get to it. This is something I wanted to show you. I even had closed captioning turned on for this particular scene. So this is Iceman. As you can tell by the yellow sticker or whatever on his tail fin, and he's definitely Unit 104, right? Except he's being shot at with bullets right now. That's what this little white line is supposed to be, is a bullet flying through the air. And of course he's doing a barrel roll, because barrel rolls save you in any situation when you're flying in combat, right? You got getting shot at with bullets, you do a barrel roll. You get shot at with missiles, you do a barrel roll. Anything you want to take off from the flight deck, and you're 30 feet up in the air, you want to look cool, you do a barrel roll. It's just the way it was back in the 80s. Anyway, why is the 104 upside down? It's like, what the heck? That shouldn't be upside down. Did somebody accidentally put it on there upside down? And I thought, that's weird. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip this image. I'm going to flip it horizontally, and all of a sudden the 104 is backwards, but at least it's the right way up, and his wing designation looks like 106, or maybe it's 601. Anyway, just another perfect example of Hollywood magic. See, 104, perfect. Flip the image, right? It's that way, that's the way it is in the movie. Flip it over, and there you go, 104. And that's definitely a 106. So, whatever reason, I guess Hollywood, they wanted the plane to be flying from left to right and not right to left, and they flipped it over. Here we got another picture of Iceman in 104. This is that same kind of ending battle scene. Maverick is in the air at this point, and he's finally firing a missile. And they show the underneath of the plane, including this weird thing here, whatever that is. And he's about to fire the first missile that he actually fires in the movie. Except they're showing this, he's in plane 200. So literally just before this particular scene, they show him pulling the trigger on the joystick and fires the missile. Of course, they're showing it from 200, not him. But whatever. Now they've won, and the MiGs have flown back, and blah blah blah. They're back on the flight deck after landed, and we finally get to see what plane he really is in. And they show him taxiing over in 114. He turns around, sure enough, 114. You can see Lieutenant Pete, what's his last name? Mitchell, I think. You can't really see the Maverick under there, but just because of this particular still shot, as it turns more, you can see the Maverick there. And so there we are. Maverick is in 114, and if you need any more proof, here he is here, parked beside Iceman, and Iceman is in 104, even though the 104 looks like somebody painted on there with a felt marker. There is Iceman, Val Kilmer getting out of number 104. Finally, we got clarification. So, I showed you all that just to say sometimes Hollywood likes to trick us. So, I have 104 and 114 on here, but I only have the tail fin markings for Maverick. So, Maverick is getting 114 because that's what he's supposed to have, and Iceman is 104. So there's that. Okay, so back to the actual thing. We've got these little parts here in this little bag. We've got two different options for the guns that goes on the kind of the side of the nose. Missiles, intakes, the nose. Now, if I remember correctly, on the engines, I had to cut this piece out here in order to get the things to fit in when I press them in on this side. I had to cut this section and make it a hole. I might have to do that again on this one. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Looks like we've got the cockpit here and the seats, pilot seats, and that's about it for that one. And on this one we have the lower fuselage. Again, one nice big long piece. Looks like this was on a sprue, but it left these pieces. That was nice and kind of them. Okay. Now, if you notice, maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, this is it's a dark gray compared to what even they show on the box. And I don't know if Revell is just assuming you're going to paint it, the whole thing, a lighter color or not. Then of course we have our wings and tires. It looks like a ladder for getting in and out of the plane. And that's about it. I remember these wings were a pain in the ass to put in. because when you're trying to put the two halves of the fuselage together with the wings inside to keep them all nicely lined up, they want it to fall down all the time, and I wound up putting like paints underneath it and so that they would stay kind of set and I could put it together, and yeah, it was a bit of a pain, but yeah, I got it. Anyway, there's the Revell kit. Now, we're going to immediately see a huge difference in the Tamiya kit. So, the Tamiya kit comes in a bigger box for a reason. Here we have the Tamiya kit, and you can see right away it's a much lighter shade of gray than the Revell kit. There's, just to show you the difference, the Revell kit. I might as well, while I'm doing this, I might as well get all of these out of the box and get them out of their bags. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get into any part of actually putting any of this together today. Just for time constraints. And here I am touching things with my mouse, and I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so we've got our lower fuselage. Scissors don't like to cut plastic. So, obviously, first thing off the bat, Tamiya makes theirs, not only is it a lighter color, but it's not all one piece, all the way to the nose. So that's the first thing. And, of course, Revell has molded these fins in. Tamiya, you get to put them on. And we've got, you know, holes. So there's a panel that's going to go on here that it just isn't there on the Revell kit. So there, right there, just right off the bat, you can see the difference in that all this section here that is all pre-molded and everything. You have to actually put that and do all that detail in the Tamiya kit. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be sections that I'm not really going to be showing with the Revell kit, where I have to do work on the Tamiya kit to kind of catch up to where I'd be on the Revell build. And clearly, I mean, how many screws? I got one, technically 4 screws on the Revell kit compared to all these on the Tamiya. So this is basically just the engine. Looks like it. Oh no, we've got instrumentation for the cockpit on here, and that's, I know that's a cockpit piece. Big long tube for the exhaust, and 2 different exhaust types, whether the thing is closed or it's open. So there's that one. Now we've got a big bag here. Big bag with big pieces. I always take some caution when pulling these out of the bags, because I don't know if a piece is maybe broken off of the sprue and it's just kind of hanging in the bag there, and then you just go and pull it out and a piece drops out and you don't know where it went. So we have our upper fuselage here, and the Tamiya kit, of course, is in 2 pieces like that, and then we've got our great big long nose pieces. These are the I don't know what they call them, some kind of little airbag thing that sits behind the wings that inflate or something when the wings are out, and then they deflate to allow the wings to come back, something like that anyway. And similar fashion, we've got that little piece on the side of the nose, little pieces of the wing, and that's that one. And this is the wing bag. So, Tamiya went a little bit of a different route when it comes to engineering the wings than Revell did. Where Revell kind of just molded it all as one piece, an upper and lower, which would be, here's our upper wing and then our lower, or maybe the other way around. In any case, what Tamiya has done, rather than trying to put the two wings together and have them all interlocked with their little cogs, and then put the fuselage on top, what Tamiya done is they actually include a little bag of screws and polycaps, and you screw these pieces down to the lower fuselage, and then you put the upper fuselage together, and then all you have sticking out is these little sections. And then later on, when you pretty much finished the entire build, you just take your wings and you slide them over top of these, and it is a much more pleasant assembly process than the Revell version. And Revell really could have taken notes on doing that when they made their kit. Because I don't know if Revell made a 1/48 scale. Well, they had to. I'm sure Revell made a 1/48 scale F-14A, years ago, before they decided to make the Maverick version. And what really sucks is I just dropped the staple on the floor. And I know I'm probably going to step on it if I don't find it. So I'll just make sure not to move my feet for a little bit here, and I'll look for that in a little bit. Lower intake parts. This is all that stuff that I don't have to assemble on the Revell kit. We've got our tail fins, 2 pieces for each one, because why not? I think these go on the interior part of the intake, inside. And a lower filler piece for the bottom, which it's basically like right here kind of thing. Or no, it's a little further back. It's like this spot here. Let's see. That's about it. These guys. Now, these are what comes in makes importance of why I took those still shots of the underbelly of the plane. These guys here, they go here and here, and they allow for the missiles to go on the inside here, which Maverick's plane does not have. And yet it's in the kit. You have those in the kit. It's one. I'll show you here. It's on this sprue, I believe. Yeah. So Revell has done them as one big piece for each side, and that would go basically like a little further back, basically like right there in that spot. And run all the way along here, and that allows the placement of 4 missiles. I don't remember which missiles. It's the cooler looking missiles, I know that. It's these guys, these missiles here. But what Revell should have done in the instructions is, for this kit, show you that you don't use these and you don't use these, right? Because if you're building Maverick's plane, no part of the movie, even in their little screw-ups where they use different plane designations, they still don't have that weapon loadout, or whatever they call it, right? They don't have those. His plane is just like this, and that's it. So I think what I might do, because my Revell kit is not going to be Maverick's plane, I might actually wind up putting those on there. I don't know yet. This looks like some fuel tanks and wheels, and we'll see what else we have in this bag. That is one thing I don't like about Tamiya kits, is them using these staples. It would be nice if they just used a heat sealer. Just, you know, they just go and seal the bag that way instead of staples. So this one we've got a bit of a pilot, and we've got the landing gear, fuel tanks, the other sections of those weapon pods, and the rear wings, tail wings, elevators, whatever you want to call them, and pilot seats. That's that one. And then same thing on this one, just basically a duplicate tree. And we've got this little bag. This is our cockpit bag. So this bag has most of our cockpit pieces in it. And already right off the bat, there's probably 3 times the amount of pieces to assemble in the Tamiya kit for the cockpit than there is on the Revell. Where the Tamiya kit has blank spots here, and then a panel that is going to get glued on top of it. That panel has the details of all those buttons and switches, and then you glue them in, whereas the Revell kit, it's just all pre-molded as one piece. So where there's a lot more detail and a lot more assembly involved in the Tamiya kit. Now I'm going to leave this one out, simply because I know, typical airplane build, you start with the cockpit. So this one looks like it's all main landing gear stuff. There's the, I'm going to say, the upper wall or ceiling of the inside landing gear bay, with the walls, the doors, all this stuff. This all has to be painted white for the most part. Typical US airplane landing gears. All their bay doors and everything, landing gear bays and pods, they're all white. And it's very typical. This one, the F-14 is the only plane I've seen. I mean, I haven't built a lot of different planes, but of the planes I've built F-14s, 15s, 16s, 18s. the F-14 is the only one where you have their landing gear bay door is, of course, it's going to be white on the inside, and of course, you know, whatever color the plane is on the outside. But then it'll have a red outline trimming the whole piece. And the F-14 is the only plane I've seen that they do that. And I don't know why they do it, but that's the way it is. One last tree, and this is obviously a whole bunch of missiles. And even their missiles, they make you assemble in 4 times the amount of pieces than the Revell kit. It was actually kind of, you know, I thought it would be really cool to build both kits side by side to show the comparison. So I bought both these kits, and then as I opened them up and was just kind of looking at the instructions and realizing there's so much to build on the Tamiya kit compared to the Revell kit. So much more assembly. Like, here's our missiles on the Tamiya kit, and of course, yeah, this is all one piece, so I got to put the fins on each one of these. And these guys are, you know, this piece will go glue onto this half, and then this one onto this half. We have our, I can tell you right now, Sidewinder missiles, and you can see the Sidewinder, that's not even one piece. This guy here, right? I have to glue this nose piece, and I gotta choose which nose piece to do it depending on which fin configuration I want to choose, either this one or that one, right? So, in comparison to my Revell kit, which just gives me, there's my Sidewinder missiles there. All 4 of these fins are already on there, so I only have to glue 2 fins on each one of these on the back, and that's it. And that's all I have to glue on those missiles. This missile is been molded onto, I think this is a Sparrow. It's been molded onto the actual missile attachment point. So I literally just put these 2 halves together and done. And I do that twice and done. So here's the example of the Revell cockpit. All the switches and buttons are already there. They're all molded on there. I can just feel them with my finger. And yeah, that's that. So that's the 2 kits in a nutshell. So I've got a lot of kind of pre-painting to do, and of course I'm not just doing 1 kit, I'm doing 2 at the same time, so it's going to be a bit of a pain and it's going to be a bit of a process, but that's the way it is. So the first thing we need to do is see what they want first. So typical, they want me to start with the cockpit on the Tamiya kit. And on the Tamiya kit, I basically start off with the bucket, just this guy here. The main starting point of just about every airplane model is the cockpit. Just like car models, it's always the engine first, right? But I've got a lot of painting to do. So, because they want, like, the floor of the thing black and the panels to be black, but then other parts of the panels are gray. Gray, gray, even some khaki. The panel's gray. One little spot, that thing's black. So what I am going to wind up doing, so where it wants me to paint it gray, just because, let's see, this, right off the bat, the very first piece I want to take off on the Revell kit is got a great big wide thing to cut off instead of just a little nub. They could have easily done 2 points of connection, but they choose one big fat one. I don't give a shit what it looks like when I take it off there, so just do that. I'm already getting angry at the Revell kit. I haven't even started. I haven't even opened the book on the Revell kit and I'm getting mad at it. Grr, I'm mad. So now I gotta clean that up. But that's the nature of the beast when it comes to this. If you really want it to look really nice, you need to have a lot of patience when you're dealing with a kit that just doesn't have a lot of really good engineering done on it. And that's just kind of the way it is. And then you see there's another thing. This piece has, I'll try and see if that'll focus on its own. I got a new camera, so there we go, it focused. So it's got the landing bay detail molded into the bottom of it. The Tamiya one does not, because in the Tamiya kit, that part of the landing bay, landing gear, pod, whatever, is a separate piece. So, similar but not quite, right? So, what I'm going to do is in the pieces of the cockpit where it wants it to be painted gray, I'm just going to leave it this color, because that's already a nice light gray that it should be. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be painting the kit with the AS7 neutral gray USAF by Tamiya, and that's what color the plane's going to be. So that's fuselage color. Now whether or not I decide to actually paint the Revell kit the same color so that both are the same, I don't know yet, because I already know that's going to take quite a bit of paint to do both of them, and especially the Revell kit, the whole thing needs to be painted. Now, does that mean I leave this color, or do I try and pick a light gray to kind of make them the same? I don't know. I think I might just leave the Revell kit this color and just paint the plane like that. Just leave it. I don't know. Not painting this any different color does simplify the build a little bit, especially in the fact that I don't need to paint anything here. I can just leave it like that. Now, another difference between the Revell kit and the Tamiya kit are the decals and the cockpit details. Revell actually gives you decals for the instrument panels if you so choose to go that route, and do decals on the instrumentation instead of painting the details yourself. On my first build I thought that's pretty cool, I'm going to try that, and so I went in. Of course they do have it all molded on there. Right, the detail is there if you want to paint them. Let's see, there you go. The detail's there. If you want to keep it that way and not use decals. If you want to go simple and use decals, you can do that. But what you have to do then is file or sand down all the little knobs and everything so it's smooth. And then the decals, then you can apply the decals and they look half decent. That's what I did on my first build of the Maverick's plane. I went that route, and I thought that was cool that they give you the option at least. I have to say, there's not a lot of things I say is pretty cool about Revell, but they did do that, and so I thought that was cool, and I went with that route with this one. Tamiya doesn't give you the options. If you want to do the details, you got to paint them yourself. And although it is nice that Tamiya actually gives you in the instructions, it shows you all the colors and everything of the switches and everything, so you know what to paint and what color to paint it all, and that's pretty cool, right? So you have options if you're doing this. So let's get to the page where I'm actually starting to do something in the Revell kit. See, Revell does show you in their instructions. You can see this big black section here. This tree or sprue is not going to get used except for that one piece. Now I think that is actually this one, which I haven't taken out of the bag yet, so I can do that. Cut. Oh, before I do this, we have clear parts. I forgot about the clear parts. How can I forget about the clear parts? We've got no canopy if we don't have clear parts. This is the Revell canopy. Okay. Nothing special. It's just a clear two-piece canopy. And that's about it. That's about it. A couple of little clear knobby looking things. Maybe one looks like it might be for the little headlight that goes on the landing gear, and the other one is that little heads-up display thing that goes on the front dashboard, for lack of a better term. Okay, so there we go. And then we have the Tamiya one. Why is Tamiya's bag so much bigger for the same size canopy? Well, because Tamiya has actually built the sprue to protect the canopy from being touched or hit by other sprues in the box. So they've got this little frame all around it. I'll just open it up here. They've got the frame all around it there to protect it, whereas the Revell one doesn't. And then they've got this is actually a clear piece that goes in the cockpit for the instrumentation, and another one actually, and is the heads-up display on there? No, it doesn't look like it. It might be, I'm not sure. That could be the headlight on the landing gear. Anyway, so that's our canopy piece, and what they've done is they actually have it kind of along this bottom edge is kind of a translucent. It's clear, but it's kind of fuzzy and you can't see through it quite. Of course, it's going to get painted black anyway. But there's the Tamiya one, and here's the Revell. And they both have similar detail. As far as the detail on the canopy, it's pretty much the same. The biggest difference is the nose piece, or the front, where the Revell one, I'll show you on this camera because it's zoomed in. There's the Tamiya one. If it'll freaking focus, please. I got a button I can press to kind of manually get it to focus. There we go. Okay, so there's that one. That's the Tamiya compared to Revell. The Tamiya one actually includes more of the front part here that is solid in color. Why they've chose to do that, I don't know, but they did, and that's what it is. There's our two clear parts for both of them, so there's the difference in that. So back to this, I think they got this number 25, but I don't know. See, these two don't even have a number. Oh yeah, number, there it is. Okay, so they're showing me this picture like this, and they want me to only use this piece off of the tree, and that's it. All these other pieces, I don't even know what they are for, or how they would get assembled at all. So yeah, so the only one I'm supposed to use is this one. I'm just going to mark that on there with my little Jiffy marker. Number 25. And that's it. And I'll do it on the other side here. 25. Okay. Which is another thing I should do. I find it's a good practice to go through the kit and see the letter designation for each tree. This one is H, and I like to just go over it with a Jiffy marker so it stands out a little bit, and then I do it on the other side too, in case for some reason I happen to lay it down flipped over on the other side. I can see there's the H there, and I know that's letter H, and I can see it when I'm far away. I know I've seen guys have some kind of a little box that has all these little shelves in it, and they label A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and they just slide the screws in them. Yeah, I don't have the room to go with something like that. I suppose I could put it on the wall. I have a big shelf. But anyway, yeah. I should go through and do that. I just don't want to right now. So right away, the Revell kit, first thing we're doing is we're going to take our instrumentation pieces, and we're going to paint them all up all pretty. That's the first thing they want to do, and actually see what Revell does. You can see from this camera here, all these little green areas. It says decal 42, decal 39, 41, 43. So the first thing they want me to do is paint this thing in the anthracite color, which is the almost black but not quite black. It's the same color I used on my Airwolf build. This one here. So it's not quite flat black. It's kind of a extreme super dark gray. There's what the color is. But when you paint it and you actually see the color, you definitely can tell, hey, that's not black. This one I can actually open up. This is the fur brush, and you might be able to see. Maybe you might be able to see it's not black. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, that's anthracite. Anthracite is not quite black. It's almost black, but not quite. And that's what the color they want me to use on that, to paint that and that. And they want anthracite on these panels here, on those. And then they want me to put the decals on for the instrumentation, if I'm choosing to use decals. Which I think this time around Although the decals would do like, hey, it's set it and forget it, right? I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually paint all the little buttons and knobs. So I need to get to work on that, and so I need to do some spray painting and paint some of this stuff. I think I'm going to go with the same color rather than flat black. I'll use the anthracite and do that, and we'll go from there. So I don't really have the time to really get into painting this yet. I would like to, but at the same time it's a bit tedious and not something I really want to necessarily talk my way through. As I kind of just have to go through it and get it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video now. So you got an idea of where we're starting, what we're doing, and I'm going to work on the cockpit, but I'll do it off stream, because the actual assembly of the cockpit it's really not that much different, other than a few extra little panels that need to be assembled on the Tamiya kit compared to the Revell kit. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. Other than you can see just the actual mold is slightly different, but not much. Yeah, so I'm going to end this here. I'm going to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for you guys who subscribe. You guys are awesome. That's really cool. And if you'd like to come on and watch me live when I do this stuff, you can head on over to my Twitch. I've got my links below in the description. And if you want to see still photos, you can always go on my Instagram also and check those out if you like that kind of stuff. Other than that, thanks for you guys who, if you've made it through this far in the video, hit a like, hit subscribe. You can even, once you've subscribed or whatever, you can hit the little bell and then you get notified whenever I upload a new video, and that's always fun. Maybe, I don't know, is it fun? Anyway, thanks again for coming out, and thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see if I can get this done today, and maybe I can continue it on tomorrow. That would be really awesome if I can actually get that done and do another video tomorrow. I really like that. Unfortunately, real life sometimes gets in the way, and I don't have the opportunity to do this stuff every day. That I'd love to be rich enough to be able to do that, but I just not. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see y'all next time. And yeah, have fun out there.